caffeine. I haven't been this awake in like 8 years. We've got the ovary. Okay. And then this pink thing grabbing onto the ovary. It's kind of like a catcher's mitt. Okay? It's the fimbria. And there's no actual complete tube between the ovary and then the fimbria and the fallopian tube, which is this tube attached to the fimbria. So the fimbria actually acts as like a catcher's mitt. So the egg gets ovulated from the ovary, and the fimbria has to actually catch it and then draw it into the fallopian tube. And when it fails, that's when sometimes you can get ectopic pregnancies, right, where it's inside of the abdominal cavity, because the fimbria didn't do its job correctly, but that egg still got fertilized. Okay. So the fimbria have to catch the egg and pull it into the fallopian tube. Okay. And then from fallopian tube, right, it goes into the uterus, and if it's implants, and then if it's fertilized, it grows, and if it's not, then it gets released. Okay. There's another thing here that looks like a tube attached to the ovary. It's not actually a tube, it's a ligament. So this is the ovarian ligament. Okay. And then these sheets right here, like this huge thing, this is called the broad ligament. It's the broad ligament. The fallopian tube, it's also called, I think on the Key Devlin sheet, it's got some weird names there, but I just like fallopian tube. But it's also called the salpinx, which is really weird. But then the surgery where women get their tubes tied, basically, or their ovaries out, it's called a bilateral salpingo-oophorectomy. Yeah, really.
That should be extra credit.
Right? Yeah. Your extra credit's the exercises. But the salpingo just stands for the fallopian tubes being cut and tied. And then oophorectomy is the actual taking out of the ovary. But anyway, so it's called a salpinx. So if you hear about that, bilateral salpingo-oophorectomy, then you're like, oh, okay, all right, I know what that is. So then there's there's like a thin sheet going over both the ovary and the fallopian tube. The part covering over the ovary is the mesoovarium, and the part going over the fallopian tube is the mesosalpinx, which is why salpinx comes into play. Okay. So if I ask you what is this structure, or identify this structure, it's the ovary. If I ask you what's covering this structure, it's mesoovarium. What is this structure? It's fallopian tube. But what's covering it is mesosalpinx. Okay? All right, then we've got the uterus. What's the function of the uterus? Hold the baby, protect the baby, help the baby grow. Okay, sometimes we ask this and people are like, here, my finger is in the vagina. And the donut thing, you can giggle if you want. The donut thing in there, that's the cervix. So the round donut, pink donut, is the cervix. Pink donut. It looks like a donut. What? All through the cervix is the cervical canal. Okay, the cervical canal is what gets dilated. And they're like, dilated. Literally terrifies me. It's like this little tiny hole. We've again got the ovary, the little yellow ovary. Oh, I can't scoot back anymore. The ovary. We've got the fimbria, the catcher's mitt fimbria. Then we have fallopian tube. Sorry, this model smelled really dusty. Fallopian tube. And then the ligament attached to the ovary is the ovarian ligament. Okay. Then we have the uterus. And then right here, right above my finger, is the cervix. Again, so we got the cervix canal going through it. Then this is the vagina again. And then the opening of the vagina, it's either called the vulva or the vaginal vestibule. Vaginal vestibule sounds fancy, so I use vaginal vestibule, but you can call it the vulva. And then in front of the uterus, we have the urinary bladder. Got the urethra running down from it. The opening of the urethra is called the urethral orifice, which does not sound fancy. Look at the urethral orifice. Then we have two bits of labia. Okay. The inner one is labia minora. It's the smaller of the two. And then the outer one is labia majora. We have labia minora, labia majora. And then this little thing in the front here, that's the clitoris. And the clitoris is made of erectile tissue called corpora cavernosa clitoridis. Okay. It's made of corpora cavernosa clitoridis. So if I ask you to identify this structure, it's the clitoris. But if I ask you what is this structure made of, or identify the erectile tissue, and it's corpora cavernosa clitoridis. Okay, cool with that?